Okay, hello! Today I'll be doing a ball comparison of the solid asyms that we have in the market. So I think we have quite a few. We have the Eternity Pie that just came out. Then we have the clone that came out a few months back. And then we have the Everlasting, Gem and Reality. So I'll be comparing all four and then we'll see whether you need each and every one in your bag or you just need one. Okay, so let's start. Let's start with the oldest of them all, Gem. Oh, so anyways, all the layout for my ball are the same. 4 1/4 by 4 3/4 by 2 1/4. And they're all at 1000 wet sand. So it should be pretty similar in terms of what we can control. Oh yes, and also we are bowling on London 44 feet because they're all quite strong balls, so I added a little bit more oil on the lids. Spare tips, always practice your spares. I already missed one for nationals. Okay, so for the Gem, right, it's the earliest reading ball out of the four. And it's the smoothest in terms of the shape to the pocket. So I usually use it for long oil if I want more read and control. So let's move on to, let's see the Eternity Pie. There's more pop at the back, right? You can see. So it actually finishes a lot quicker and stronger at the back for me. But also maybe because it's newer lah. Okay, that wasn't a good shot. So I got it left to see whether I got room left, but don't have. So it's not a ball that gives you a sufficient entry angle when you miss left for a left-hander. Okay. Let me go one more shot with the Eternity Pie before I try another ball. Yeah, it definitely goes a little bit longer in the front as compared to the Gem. So I would say that they're about there lah. They're about there. It depends on whether you want an earlier read or a ball with a little bit more length. But I wouldn't carry both of them in the same bag. If you have only 6 balls, right, you must be wise with your choice. You cannot everything put 1, 2, 3, 4. Unless you know for sure that the pattern you're going to bowl is like a long oil and then you don't need any other balls. Okay, so let's see the Reality. I mean, before we started this, right, out of the 4 balls that I have, right, my favorite is actually the Reality lah. Because I feel like overall it has the best blend between read and back end angularity to the pocket. So different balls, right, it differs a little bit. So for the Gem, it reads earlier than the Reality. I think Eternity Pi, right, is somewhat similar to the reality, but not quite close.
So what is the difference? Like, is it the core or is it the cover stock? Oh.
I mean, it's supposed to be the same because the 901 blend is supposed to be a replacement for the reality cover stock. But right, I feel it's not the same.
So it's just the color that make it different. Then what about the core? Are they about the same?
I think the 0.1, 0.2 difference in the RG and the diff, right, puts it in a somewhat similar region but with a little bit of difference. So if you want to like nitpick, right, it's different lah. But if you are going to look at a general scheme of things, like, because there's so many bowling balls out in the market, right? So if you look across the whole scheme, then they probably belong in the same region. Oh dear.
That was a very good shot.
That was a very good reaction. So right, if you can see, the reality actually for me ramps up a lot better in the mid than the Eternity Pi. So for me, I feel like the Eternity Pi moves a tad longer through the break, past the breakpoint a little bit as compared to the reality. So this has a little bit more reach and it's working a lot harder at the breakpoint. And then you know for sure, right, it will move to the pocket. But for this ball, right, it's like a question mark. Sometimes it will move to the pocket, sometimes it will go a little bit longer before moving to the pocket. The engine not as strong. So I'll move on to the clone. And then you can see, so based on the specs, right, the clone is the one that goes the longest among all out of this four. So we'll see. Yeah. So in my opinion, the clone actually conserves a lot more energy than the rest because I think it's a tad longer. I mean the core conserves a little bit more and it's a little bit cleaner, but you can't really see that it's clean through the front because it's actually still reading because of the surface. So because of that, it conserves more and then you can see it flips a lot harder at the back as compared to the other three balls.
So would you say that the clone is very different out of all these four balls?
Yeah. Out of these four, right, the clone is like, so you got the gem here, right? Then you got the Eternity Pi and the reality somewhere here. And then clone will be here.
Oh, so far away.
I mean, I think DNA is somewhere here also lah. But as you can see, I didn't bring DNA here, so I have decided to let go of my DNA. Okay, maybe I should open up with the clone and we see whether it can come back. Because after all, I threw like 10 shots, right? It should have broken down. That was a 2-1 right. So you see the clone actually could like come back a little bit and kick the 7. So if you polish it a little bit, it goes a little bit cleaner, I think it will be even better. But because they're all at 1000, right, it's losing quite a bit of energy in the front. Because I think the lanes here, right, there's 44 feet of oil, but it's still picking up quite a little bit earlier in the front. So I've thrown all 4 balls, and then you've seen the differences between them. And I just feel like if you have no lack of bowling balls, faces, right, you can bring all, right, then sure, go ahead, drill 2 or 3 because there's some subtle differences between them that will be the difference between a carry and a non-carry. But if you have a restriction in your bowling ball arsenal where you need to bring only like 6 to travel, then for sake of versatility and diversity, right, bring only 1. Yes. And then out of the four, right, if you ask me which one I like the most, I would say, so far based on all the competitions I've been to, reality has been the one giving me the most consistent performance. And then if I would really have to pick another one, if it's an oilier pattern, I'll go with gem. If it's a drier one, I'll go with clone, because clone goes through the front a little bit better. And then as a left-hander, there's not as much traffic. So I don't really need to bring like a Journey or a Cosmos kind of ball or a Pearl Asym ball. So I will go with a hybrid of solid, but I will put the surface at about 4000 or polish. So because I still need the reed, and if the lids are not broken down and I use the Pearl, it will be too over under most of the time. So tip for a lefty. Alright, so I'm done and see you next time. Bye!